You are watching Eswatini TV, Sibuko Semaswati.
A very good afternoon to our viewers and welcome to Home Study live on Eswatini TV. I am Nogwazi Dlamini and as always I am never alone. I'm with the ever so beautiful Lerato Mabilisa. Good afternoon, Lerato.
Good afternoon, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Also joining us in the studio are our sign language interpreters Toby Lefagutse and Zanele Mota. How's your Friday been? Today?
Wow, hectic, but I'm hoping it's going to be amazing at the end of the day.
All right. Can you please remind our viewers about today's timetable?
Okay, dear viewer, your timetable for today is as follows. We have science for the grade 7s from 2 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. and then we have English language for the Form 3 learners from 2:30 p.m. to 3:08 p.m. And then we have mathematics for the Form 3s from 3:08 p.m. to 3:45 p.m. And then for the Form 5 learners, we have English language from 3:45 p.m. to 4:25 p.m. And then lastly, we have Siswati from 4:25 p.m. to 5 p.m. So Nogwazi, you got to get ready for the Siswati.
I told you yesterday, I'm always ready.
Okay.
Just to remind our viewers that we are live on Facebook and on YouTube, and to also remind you that you can subscribe on YouTube just so you get notifications of whenever we're live. And also our WhatsApp number, of course, I mustn't forget that. You can use that number. If you have any questions, you can ask the relevant questions that are relevant to that lesson that is going on that day.
Yes, we also have channel Yemaswati, where you guys are going to have repeats from 9 a.m. to 12. Only on weekdays. So
Yes.
Today's lessons are going to be repeated on channel Yemaswati only on Monday, and then so forth. Monday, Tuesday.
All right, without wasting any time, Lerato will be right back with Prudence Masego, and they'll be learning grade 7 science today, and the topic matter is separating mixtures. We will be right back.
Imagine your favorite personality or celebrity. Now imagine if they had to do a job that you never saw them doing. You don't have to imagine. We'll show you.
Really?
Asambege is back. This is the show that takes your favorite celebrity and personality and gives them the challenge of doing a job that some people do every day.
Yeah.
Can they do it? Will they crumble under the pressure? Find out in the brand new season of Asambege.
Welcome back, grade 7s, to an interesting lesson. We're going to be doing science with Miss Prudence Masego. Good afternoon and welcome to the show, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Lerato.
How are you today?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you, Lerato?
I'm alright. So today we're going to be learning about mixtures, physical and chemical changes. Am I correct?
Yes, you are very correct, Lerato. We
Okay.
are going to be learning about that.
Okay, so what would you like the viewer to have learned by the end of the lesson?
All right, thank you, Lerato. So at the end of the lesson, learners at home, we expect you to be able to define mixture and solution. You must be able to define what a mixture is and what a solution is. Secondly, you must be able to describe methods of separating mixtures. You must be able to describe methods of separating mixtures. And then lastly, you must be able to identify physical and chemical changes. So that is what I'm expecting the learners to have achieved by the end of the lesson.
Okay, dear grade 7, science is an organized and creativity and organizes knowledge in the form of testable explanations and predictions about the universe. So ma'am, without wasting any time, please take us on this interesting journey.
Thank you so much, Lerato. So dear learners at home, as we have said that today we are going to be learning about mixtures, physical changes and chemical changes. So we are just going to move on now, dear learners. So starting with the mixtures, I want us to look at the picture that is now showing on the screen. So on this picture, dear learners, I hope you can see that we have a combination of different substances. Substances have been put together here. So dear learners, we call this a mixture, which means a mixture is a combination of two or more substances. A mixture is a combination of two or more substances. Now let's look at examples of mixtures, learners at home. So we can have a mixture of bean seeds and maize seeds. We can have another mixture of sand and water. We can have a mixture of iron filings and stones. Another mixture could be that of sugar and water. My last example will be fruit juice and milk. So those are examples of mixtures, dear learners. These are some of the examples that you can have. So now I want us to look at the mixture of bean seeds and maize seeds. So here, these substances that have been mixed are both solids. So it means that when we have a mixture, we can have a mixture whereby we combine a solid and another solid. Now looking at sand and water, the example that we gave on sand and water. So this is a mixture whereby we have a solid and a liquid. We have a solid and a liquid. And then let us look at fruit juice and milk. So this one is a mixture of a liquid and another liquid. So it means that with the mixtures, we can have a liquid and a liquid. We can have a mixture of a solid and another solid. We can also have a mixture of a solid and a liquid. Okay, now moving on, dear learners, we mentioned that we have a mixture of sugar and water. So this type of a mixture is known as a solution. It is a solution. So now, what is a solution? Dear learners, a solution is a mixture of a soluble substance and a liquid. It is a mixture of a soluble substance and a liquid. Now, this soluble, when we say a substance is soluble, it means that it can dissolve. When we say a substance is soluble, we mean that it can dissolve in a liquid. That substance can dissolve in a liquid. Therefore, we say it is a soluble substance. We do have those substances that are insoluble. When we say a substance is insoluble, it means that that substance cannot dissolve in a liquid. For just for clarification, dear learners, when we say a substance dissolve, to dissolve is to mix with a liquid and become part of the liquid. To mix with a liquid and become part of the liquid. So whenever we say a substance can dissolve in a liquid, we mean that that substance it mixes with the liquid and become part of the liquid. So now in a solution we have what we call the solvent. Now what is a solvent? So a solvent is a liquid in which a solid dissolves. It is a liquid in which a solid dissolves. We also have a solute. Now a solute, dear learners, is a solid that dissolves in a liquid. It is that solid which dissolves in a liquid, which means the solute is the soluble substance because it dissolves in a liquid. Now when we combine, dear learners, when we combine a solute and a solvent, we get the solution, which means, in short, a solution, yes, we have said that a solution is a mixture of a soluble substance and a liquid, but in short we can say a solution is a combination of a solute and a solvent, because when you combine the solute and the solvent you get the solution, dear learners. Okay, I have this demonstration of how the solute dissolves in the liquid. Here, dear learners, we have our salt, and then the salt here is an example of a solute. Then we have water in this beaker. The water here is our solvent. So when this salt is poured into this water, and then after stirring, the salt dissolves in the water. So after the salt has dissolved in the water, we come up with salt solution. So that is how it happens, dear learners. Okay, now we have been talking about mixtures solution. So now there is another thing that I want you, dear learners, to note, is that water is known as a universal solvent. Water is known as a universal solvent. What does that mean? We say water is a universal solvent because there are many different substances that can dissolve in water. Therefore, water is a universal solvent. Okay, dear learners, these mixtures that we have talked about can be separated using different methods. So now we are going to look at the methods of separating the mixtures. Okay, number one, we have hand sorting. Number two, we can separate mixtures using a magnet. We can also separate using the method of filtration. Another method that can be used for separating mixtures, dear learners, is decanting. Then another one is evaporation. Then the last method that we are going to look at today is simple distillation. So these are the methods that we can use when separating mixtures, different mixtures. So now we are going to look, we are going to describe each of these methods in details. So we are going to start with sorting by hand sorting. So in this method, dear learners, we can separate substances that are large enough to be picked up by our hands, or substances that are large enough to be handled by our hands. So just like the picture that is showing on the screen, dear learners, I hope you can see that it is a mixture of beans of different colors and other substances. So in this case, you can be able to use hand sorting. You can put the green beans aside. You can put those that are white on the other side. You can put those that are brown on the other side. So in this case, dear learners, we can sort this mixture using our hands. So any mixture whereby you have combined substances that are large enough to be to be held by our hands. You can sort them using this method. It has to be solid substances, dear learners. Okay, now we are moving on to the next method of separating mixtures. So this one is using a magnet. We can use a magnet to separate mixtures, but in this case you will use a magnet. A magnet is used to separate magnetic solids from non-magnetic solids. This method is used to separate a mixture of magnetic solids from non-magnetic solids. Examples of these mixtures which can be separated using this method, dear learner, it could be a mixture of iron filings and sand. I hope you remember that iron filings are magnetic. They are magnetic. And then we can also separate a mixture of wood chips and iron nails. So this dear Elena, this mixture can also be separated using a magnet. So now I have that diagram or that picture, dear Elena, which is demonstrating how we separate the magnetic substances from non-magnetic substances. So here this is a combination. Here this mixture is a mixture of iron nails and wood chips. So when this magnet is brought to this closer to this mixture, dear Lena, the nails are attracted. As you can see here, the nails are attracted by the magnets because these nails are magnetic. So they are now attracted by the magnet, leaving the wood chips on the other side, which makes the mixture now to be separated. You will be left with the iron chips this side, and then the nails will be attracted by the magnet. So that is how the magnet is used to separate this mixture. Remember, we are saying this method is used to separate magnetic substances from those that from the substances that are non-magnetic. So now we are going to move on, dear learners. We are going to look at filtration. We are now going to look at filtration. Filtration is another method of separating mixtures. So now this method is used to separate an insoluble solid from a liquid. It is used to separate an insoluble solid from a liquid. So here the mixture, dear Lena, is poured onto a filter paper. The mixture is poured onto a filter paper or a cloth. If you don't have the filter paper, you can use a cloth, dear Lena, to filter the solid out of the liquid. So now what happens in filtration is that the solid remains on the filter paper or the cloth if you are using the cloth. So the solid will remain on the filter paper while the liquid drips through into a container. The liquid is going to drip through into a container. Now the solid that remains on the filter paper, dear Lena, is known as the residue, and then the liquid that drips through into the container is known as the filtrate. So we are saying the solid will remain on the filter paper, and then the solid that remains on the filter paper is known as the residue, and then the liquid that drips into the container is known as the filtrate. Okay, dear learners, may I give this opportunity to Lerato? You seem to have something to say.
Well, ma'am, can we take a quick commercial break and we'll be back so you can continue with the lesson.
Thank
that
you.
okay?
Yes, that is very okay. Thank you.
Dear viewer at home, let's take a quick commercial break.
COVID-19, yes, the coronavirus. It is now our daily talk. It is now our everyday breaking news. I think it's high time we all come together and make sure we bring an end to this. Cause we can't sit down while it's still taking over. Let's all follow all the precautions given by the health department so that we can protect ourselves and also protect others.
I just wash my hands before I touch. I just close my mouth before I cough. And I just close my mouth before I sneeze. And I don't go to parties, that's a risk, yeah. I see.
I wash my hands before I touch.
I see.
I close my mouth before I cough.
I see.
I close my mouth before I sneeze.
I see.
I don't go to parties, that's a risk.
I see. People going through a lot. I see. Coronavirus is a threat. I see. I don't go to parties, that's a risk. I see. I close my mouth before I cough. In case you're wondering, just wash your hands in case you handle things, and then keep an eye if you sneeze or cough, gotta keep it covered. I mean, who am I? Just a person living, wanna see you living, cause I value life. Eswatini, raise up, we gon' fight and conquer, cause we really got this.
I see. I wash my hands before I touch.
I see.
I close my mouth before I cough.
I see.
I close my mouth before I sneeze.
I see.
I don't go to parties, that's a risk.
Believe that some of the people you know can never be trusted at all. You gotta be cautious. Wash your hands more often. Can trust everything that we touch. And when you sneeze, you gotta make sure you cover your mouth, but not with your hands, cause you do not know who you're gonna touch or what you have touched. Before all of that, avoid meeting up with too many people. For your own good and everyone else, you gotta make sure you keep it all clean. Watch how you maneuver.
Dear viewer, welcome back. I hope that the commercial break was beneficial to you. Ma'am, we were learning about filtration, were we?
Yes.
Okay, can we continue with our lesson?
Thank you so much, Lerato. Welcome back, dear learners. So yes, before we went for the commercial break, we were talking about filtration, which is another method of separating mixtures. We said that filtration is used to separate an insoluble solid from a liquid. We say it is used to separate an insoluble solid from a liquid. So now I even explained, dear Lena, that when you are carrying out filtration, the solid remains on top on the filter paper whilst the liquid drips through into the container. We mentioned that the solid that remains on the filter paper is known as the residue, whilst the liquid that drips into the container is known as the filtrate. So now, dear learners, we are going to play a video. I'm going to play a video which is going to demonstrate, which is going to show you the apparatus that are used in filtration, also how the method of filtration is carried out. So now you are going to see that video which is going to clarify more on filtration, dear learners. So yes, you would remember that there are some apparatus that we use for each and every method. So that one is a conical flask. I hope you can see it. It's a conical flask. Then we have a beaker, dear learners at home. Then that other beaker has water, and then we call that a spatula, the one that is used in the water there. Then that is a beaker, dear learner. Then we call that one a filter funnel, dear learners. And then we also have the filter paper, dear learners. which is also used. And then the other one, that is a stirring rod together with a spatula, dear learners. So those are the apparatus that we use when we are carrying out filtration. So now that is the filter paper. That is how you fold the filter paper, dear learners, as you are going to be carrying out the experiment. So that is how you fold the filter paper. Yes, we are now folding the filter paper. So dear learners, the filter paper is put in the filter funnel. Yes, that's the filter funnel. We then put the filter paper, then the filter funnel is put in the conical flask. Now we are mixing sand and water. We are forming a mixture of sand and water. Using the stirring rod, we are now stirring our mixture. We are now stirring our mixture, dear learner, the mixture of sand and water. The mixture of sand and water, which is in that beaker. Now we are carrying out filtration. The mixture is now poured into that filter paper which is in the filter funnel. Now I hope you can see, dear learners, the mixture there is poured into the filter funnel. Inside the filter funnel, there is the filter paper. Now I hope you have seen that there is a liquid that is dripping through into the conical flask. The liquid is dripping through into the conical flask. You will remember, dear learners, that we said the liquid that drips through into the liquid that drips through is known as the filtrate. Yes. So that is the filtrate, that liquid dripping into the conical flask, dear learners. So now, dear learners, we are now going to see what is going to happen. We are now going to see the results as we have been separating these different substances, which is sand and water. So now we are going to show you again what are the results. As you can see, dear learners, there we have we are done with our filtration, the process. So there we are showing you the residue. And then that is the filtrate, which is the liquid in the conical flask. The liquid in the conical flask is known as the filtrate. And then on the filter paper, dear learners, look at that filter paper. There is the sand. As we have said that in filtration, the residue remains on the filter paper. So in this case, our residue is the sand. I hope that is clear, dear learners, how filtration, how we carry out the process on filtration. So now, dear learners, we are just going to move on to another method of separating mixtures. And this method is decanting. Decanting simply means pouring off. It simply means pouring off. So decanting, dear learners, is used to separate an insoluble solid from a liquid. It is used to separate an insoluble solid from a liquid. It can also be used to separate a liquid from another liquid. But here, this liquid must have different densities. The liquids must have different densities, dear learners. I hope you remember that you learned about density in grade 6. Grade 6 science, we learned about density. We calculated the density of a solid. We also learned that we can find the density of liquids by using an instrument which is known as hydrometer. So now here we are saying decanting can also be used to separate a mixture of a liquid and another liquid. They must have different densities. So the substances here, the substances must form different layers. The substances must form different layers so that one can be poured off. And then an example of a liquid and another liquid could be oil and water. So here oil is less dense than water, therefore it will float on top. So we have said that they must have different densities. So now we are seeing that oil is less dense than water, therefore oil and water form different layers. So the oil will float on top, whilst the water will be at the bottom, because water is more dense than oil. So now this is I'm going to show you now an example of how decanting is carried out. As we have said that in decanting, the mixture, the substances here must form different layers. So now I hope you can see, dear learners, that here there are two layers that are being shown. There are two layers that are being shown. So the layer on top is now poured into this container, whilst the layer that is at the bottom remains. So here we can see that the one that is on top is the one that has less density, whilst the one that is at the bottom is the one that has high density. So that is decanting, dear learners. So now we are going to move on to another method of separating mixtures, which is evaporation. So evaporation, dear learners, can be used to separate a soluble solid from a liquid. I hope you still remember that we said a soluble solid is also known as a solute, the one that can dissolve in a liquid. So evaporation, dear learners, can be used to separate a soluble solid from a liquid. Now the solid here stays behind in the container after the liquid has evaporated. So the solid stays behind in the container after the liquid has evaporated. So examples of these mixtures that can be separated through this method could be sugar solution. It can also be a salt solution. So this is an apparatus. This isn't just an example of an apparatus that is used when carrying out evaporation. So here we have our Bunsen burner, which heats the solution. Now when the solution is heated, the liquid in the solution evaporates, leaving the solid in the evaporating dish. So the solid remains in the evaporating dish whilst the liquid evaporates. So in that way, the mixture here is separated using evaporation, dear learners. So now the last method that we are going to use, that we are going to look at, the method for separating mixtures will be simple distillation. So dear learners, this method is used for separating a solvent from a solute. It is used to separate a solvent from a solute. In simple distillation, dear learners, the solute remains in the boiling flask. It remains in the boiling flask and is known as the residue, whilst the solvent is collected in the collecting flask, and the solvent here is known as the distillate. So now here is an apparatus for simple distillation. So as we have said that it is used to separate mixtures which are solutions. So here, this is our boiling flask. So what happens is, as this solution is heated, the solution then starts boiling. When it boils, then evaporation occurs, which means the liquid here will evaporate, leaving the solute, which is solid, and then here the water vapor is condensed. And then you remember when we learned about the different states of matter that when a liquid is heated, it evaporates, but it can then change to become liquid. So here, the water vapor here condenses to become liquid, and the liquid is collected in the collecting flask. So here we will be left with the solid which is a solute and is known as the residue, and then here the liquid that will be collected is known as the distillate. So that is how simple distillation occurs, dear learners.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am, for that. The viewer at home has a question, and the question is, what is distillation method? I think they didn't get the concept of, yes.
Oh, okay.
What is distillation method?
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Lerato. Thank you to you, learner at home. So here at our level, we look at simple distillation. So we are saying this is a method of separating a mixture, and this mixture should be a mixture of a solvent and a solute. So simple distillation is the method of separating a mixture, and this mixture should be a solution, because you remember that a solution is formed by a solvent and a solute. So distillation simply means that it is just a method for separating a solvent from a solute. Actually, maybe to elaborate on that one is that in simple distillation, we are able to recover both the solute and the solvent, whereas in evaporation, the liquid will only evaporate and leaving the solute. But with simple distillation, we are able to recover the solute and the solvent. The solute remains in the boiling flask, whilst the solvent is collected in the collecting flask.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am. I hope, learner at home, you were able you were answered actually by Miss Prudence. Up next is my colleague Nogwazi, who is going to be presenting English language for the Form 3s with Mrs. Delile Dlamini. So Form 3s, get your notepads and your writing equipment, because Nogwazi is coming with Miss Delile to take you on for English language.
Hi viewers at home, my name is Professor Shabang. I am the presenter for your favorite health program, Better Health, Better Life. Thank you viewers at home for the calls and the messages, and thank you Eswatini TV for the great platform. Better Health, Better Life Season 4 is coming bigger and better. And now you have a chance to participate by sending a video of your view prior to the next program. On that note, we are appealing to all Emaswati, please stay at home, stop the spread so that we can save lives.
When we talk of screening, basically, this is a preventative measure of finding out if there's any problem that may present as a result. So when you screen, you are trying to find out whether it exists or not, the problem. So in our case, the idea of screening is to ensure that everyone does not present with high temperature. So anyone who's presenting with higher temperature than usual is then picked up. And then from then on, you'll then be tested to make sure that you have the virus or not. That is the main difference.
Eswatini sibambisene kulwa nekwanza kuligciwane lecorona. Kumelula ukuthi ligciwane lecorona lisuke kulomunye lingene kulomunye uma sitawusonzelana. Singasita sinciphise kwanza kwalo ngekuthi sikhweshelane. Lokhu kusho ukuthi singachawulani, singathinzani njengokuhagana nje. Tikhweshise ngesigaba lesiyimitha kusuka kulabanye. Kumcoka kakhulu kuhlala uhlobile nekuthi hlobisa uma uke waphumela kubantu. Ngekubambisana sitakumisa kwanza kwaleli gciwane sibe ngulabaphilile. Eswatini sibambisene kulwa nekwanza kweligciwane lecorona.
Welcome viewers, this is still Home Study. I am Nogwazi Dlamini, and right at this moment we are doing the Form 3 English language class. Joining me in the studio is Miss Deli Dlamini, who is going to be doing the Form 3 English language class. And also joining me is our sign language interpreters, Nompumelelo Hadebe and Zanele Moza. Deli, how are you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing great, Nogwazi. Thank you for asking. How are you feeling?
I'm doing great, thank you. Can you tell us briefly what today's lesson is about?
Oh, today's lesson, Nogwazi, is on descriptive writing. That is how to write a descriptive essay. Yes, and learners are expected to be able to write a descriptive composition. And in writing the descriptive composition, they're supposed to communicate clearly, accurately, and appropriately.
Okay. Writing a descriptive composition, that is very interesting. Form 3s, if you want to be a writer, specifically if you want to be a script writer on TV, this is for you. Watch very carefully. Form 3s, just to remind you, we are live on YouTube and on Facebook, and if you have any questions, you are free to ask us on our WhatsApp number. Deli, I'll let you start your class.
Thank you so much, Nogwazi. As I've said earlier on, our lesson is on descriptive writing. At the end of the lesson, pupils should be able to use language and register appropriate to a given audience and context. They are also expected to order and present ideas in a coherent manner. They are also expected to observe the conventions of paragraphing and communicate clearly, accurately, and appropriately. I'm sorry, dear Len. Let us now continue. My introduction will start with defining a descriptive composition. The word descriptive is derived from the verb describe. To describe is to say what somebody or something is like. So a descriptive composition may be said to be a piece of writing that describes what somebody or something is like. A descriptive composition can also be said to be a type of composition which requires the writer to make use of what? Strong adjectives, verbs, adverbs, as well as sensory details, which are very important. And what are these sensory details for? You need to use them to paint a certain picture to the reader. You can write a descriptive composition and describe a view. You can describe a scene. You can describe a journey. You can describe an object, a person, or a place. In an exam situation or in a classroom situation, you may be required to write on either of these things. So it is very important to know how to write or how to describe each of these things. Okay, learners, a descriptive composition may be real or imagined. Remember, this is creative writing. You need to create something out of nothing. But what is important is that you should try to base your description on an actual memory or experience. Why? Why is this important? This can make your composition to be authentic, original, or real, dear learner. Let us now move on and look at how a descriptive composition is written. Remember, I said you may be required to describe a person, a scene, or a view, or a person. So when you do this, dear learner, make sure that you choose your details carefully. Why? In order for your description to be what? To have a vivid impression of the place, view, scene, journey, object, person, or place. Choose your detail. This is very important. Another thing that you need to do is to organize your ideas in an orderly manner and develop your material in a logical manner. This is where issues of paragraphing, punctuation, and grammar come to play. Your composition also, dear learner, should have a structure. What do I mean by this? I mean that it should have an introduction, it should have a body, and it should have a conclusion. These are the key components of writing a composition. In addition to that, my dear learner, you should be able to use relevant register, use formal register, and language. What do I mean by this, dear learner? I mean that you should make use of powerful adjectives and strong verbs, but in using the language that you use here is not slang. It is not offensive language, but it is formal language. You should show respect. It should be language that is polite. I hope I am clear. Let us move on. Okay? We are going to start by touching on describing a person, and move on to to describing a place, because I want you, dear learners, to see the difference in doing these two things. Okay? When describing a person, you do not normally mention what is common to everybody, but you point out what is unusual. This is very key. You don't say that the person has 2 eyes, a nose, 2 ears. That is obvious. But point out what is unique, striking, or intriguing about these features, and what distinguishes this person from others. What distinguishes this person from others? Bring out the peculiarities. If this person, for example, if this person has exceptionally small eyes, take that into consideration. Put it in your descriptive. If that person has a crooked nose, do make mention of that. If the person has crooked teeth, or a tooth missing, or protruding teeth, make sure that you make mention of that, because these are the peculiarities. This is what makes this person unusual. Dear learner, make sure that you also include interesting details about his or her physical appearance. Physical appearance refers to facial features are key. Facial features. It takes into consideration the hair and the build of the person. Talk about the face. You don't just say the person has a face, but take into consideration the shape of the face. Is it round? Is it oval? Is it pear shape? These are the strong adjectives that I touched on earlier on. You also have to talk about the hair. You don't just say the person has hair, but take into consideration the length, the texture, and the color. Is it long? Is it wavy? Is it black? Is it blonde? Is the person a redhead? And you move on to even touch on the eyes. The size of the eyes. Are they small? Does this person have Chinese or Oriental features? Does the shape of the eyes, are they round? The color. Are they brown? Are they blue? Are they gray? Are they green? Because there are people who have those type of eyes. You also touch on the complexion. You also touch on the mannerism, the way the person behaves, the way the person talks, the way the person moves, the way the person walks. That is very key. Also, do make sure that you touch on the character of the person and the behavior, the personality. You can even touch on the clothes the person likes wearing. You may say that he likes wearing trendy clothes, or the clothes that he wears are shabby. It's up to you. It depends on what impression you want to create on the reader. Another aspect that is important is that you should include who or she that person is and what he does. You also need to take into consideration his likes, his dislikes, and what is also important is your opinion of him. Because when you're given a descriptive task, it is not, you are not given it in a vacuum that just talk about this person, but you need to say if this person inspires you, influences you. Is he your icon? Is he your mentor? Is he your idol? Is he your favorite teacher or your best friend? And why is this person your best friend? Why is this person your favorite teacher? Okay, dear Lena, let us move on now. The best way, dear Lena, to capture your reader's interest is to begin by emphasizing any extraordinary features or habits which makes the person stand out as an individual. This is very key when you describe a person. Let us look at this example as an illustration. It is on account of the beauty mark. Look at the way I've punctuated, because grammar is also key. A mole on her upper right lip that you first notice Amandla. Oval face, almond-shaped eyes which are sparkling deep ocean blue, long black silky hair, and long beautiful well-toned legs that go on like forever is what makes you stare at her like you are in a trance. She is perfection redefined and an epitome of beauty. Her presence lights up a room and she exudes confidence. This is a description, dear Lena. Let me just point out the standing features here, the ones that I talked about, I touched on. First and foremost, this is a paragraph and it has been rightly punctuated. Then I said that you should bring out the extraordinary, what makes this person stands out. And in my example here, I say that it is the what? It is on account of the beauty mark. Then I also state what is this beauty mark. A mole on her upper right lip that you first notice Amandla. Then there are these strong adjectives that I have used here, dear Lena. Let me just highlight them. The face is not just any face, but it is obvious. The eyes are not just any other eyes, but I have specified that they are almond shaped. The eyes, I did not say that she has blue eyes, but I said what? Sparkling blue. Ocean blue. It's not just deep ocean blue. It gives you a mental picture. You can just picture the ocean here. You can just picture what kind of eyes Amandla has. And the hair, I said it is long, black, silky. And her legs are not just legs or long legs. I said they are beautiful, and I also said that they are long, they are well toned. And I then said, she is perfection redefined. This person is really beautiful. I did not say she is beautiful. That is just ordinary language. But I said, she is perfection redefined. And I also describe her as a what? An epitome of beauty. And the last sentence, her presence lights up a room and she exudes confidence. She oozes. When you see her walking there, she is oozing confidence. And this is the way I have described this particular person. Let us now move on, my dear Lena, to the next one. This is, again, it's a conjugation. I want to point out, I want to illustrate where you now take into consideration the personality. At first I was describing the what? The physical, her physical appearance. Again, dear Lena, this is a paragraph that has been punctuated what? Accurately. Born and bred in Manzini, Amandla Stewart is a dynamic overachiever who has the entertainment industry at her feet. She is a one-woman powerhouse who is doing it all at the age of 30. Fearless, bold, compassionate are the first words that come to mind when describing Ama, as she is affectionately called by close family and friends. She is intelligent, witty, inspiring, and a highly vocal woman who is a force to be reckoned with. Let us now look at the way language here is at play. I did not say she was born and she lived in Manzini. She grew up in Manzini, born and bred. That's the beautiful way of putting it, my dear Lena. And I also described her as a dynamic overachiever. And I said she is what? A powerhouse. This is one powerful woman. She is fearless, bold. I'm emphasizing the bravery part, the courage. She is full of courage. She is also what? Compassionate. It's another personality trait that she has. She is intelligent, not just intelligent. In addition to that, she is also witty. She is inspiring, and she is highly vocal. She is a what? That's another way of putting it, a force to be what? Reckoned with. That is where our description ends, my dear Lena. Let us now move on so that you can see how we can go about describing a place. A street is a city or a town. A street in a city or town is always full of excitement, color, noise, and activity. You always see these things. You see things, you hear noise, you smell the fumes from the car exhaust and the aroma of food cooking nearby. When describing such a scene, these are the things that you should take into consideration, my dear Lena. Try to capture the excitement of the mood, the aura, the atmosphere of the place, so that the reader can share your experience of it or feel as if he or she were there himself. Concentrate on the striking, intriguing, and aspects about their place. Create a picture that is vivid using what? Using words. Okay.
Thank you. Could we take a bit of a break? We'll be right back. I think you do need just a little bit of water, don't you?
Yes, I do, my dear. I deserve to take a break.
Okay, thank you. Viewers, we'll be right back after this.
Hi, my name is Professor Shabang. I am an actor and a TV presenter. Coronavirus is a deadly virus, an invincible enemy killing people all over the world. We are not exempted, but together we can walk through and overcome as a nation. All we need to do is to follow the health precautions. Stay at home, stop the spread, and save lives.
COVID-19 is an infectious disease caused by a new coronavirus introduced to humans for the first time. It is spread from person to person, mainly through the droplets produced when an infected person speaks, coughs, or sneezes. These droplets can land in the mouths or noses of people who are nearby. These droplets are too heavy to travel far in the air. They only travel approximately 1 meter and quickly settle on surfaces. This is the reason person-to-person spread is happening mainly between close contacts. The exact time that the virus can survive on surfaces is not yet known.
Welcome back, viewers. You are still tuned in to Eswatini TV, and this is Home Study. And if you have just joined us, I am Nogwazi Dlamini, and at this point in time, we are doing Form 3 English language class with Daily Dlamini. Daily, I'll let you continue with your class.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, before the short break, we were on describing a place. And I said that you should, when you're describing a place, you should capture the excitement and the mood. Maybe before I continue, Nogwazi, are there any questions that you may have?
I just have maybe like 2 questions.
Okay.
One of your students is asking what a vivid impression is.
A vivid impression is when you create a vivid impression on the reader, it is when the reader is able to have a mental picture of what you are saying. You are using words to paint pictures. The writer is able to use his or her imagination to picture what you are saying.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And the other question is, in which tense should a descriptive composition be?
The best tense to use is the present tense, unless your description is embedded in a narrative.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. You can continue with your lesson.
Thank you so much. Okay. When you are writing a descriptive composition, make sure that you are clear and accurate. This is very important because this forms one of the assessment objective. You are supposed to communicate clearly and accurately and appropriately. So there is this important rule that one has to follow when writing a descriptive. It's a very important one. You are not supposed to tell the reader, but show the reader. You show. How do you show? You show through the use of what? Words. You use the strong adjectives, the strong verbs, and the adverbs that I keep on referring to. And this makes the descriptive to be vivid, and it creates a lasting impression on the reader. How can you achieve this? This is how you can achieve it. Choose unusual vocabulary. Choose unusual vocabulary. Use as many of the 5 senses. This is another method. Use as many of the 5 senses as possible. Employ multiple adjectives. Use similes. Use metaphors. Vary your sentence length. Create sound effects. How do you achieve that? It is through the use of onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia is a sound device. When somebody says buzz, hiss, slammed, banged, those are examples of onomatopoeia. Through the use of these tools, you can create an atmosphere. You can create an atmosphere of what? Of loneliness through the use of words. You can create an atmosphere of tranquility. You can create an atmosphere of anarchy, which is disorder, chaos, or confusion. Okay, dear learner, let us now continue writing a descriptive composition. An atmosphere can be best created by appealing to all the 5 senses. The 5 senses that you learned about in preschool and at primary school. The sense of sight, smell, touch, taste, hearing. Another key thing is, please do bring color, size, shape. These are also important elements in descriptive writing. Imagery, my dear learner, can contribute to a powerful and memorable descriptive writing. In the form of what? In the form of similes, where you make comparisons using as or like, and in the form of metaphors. The metaphors are what? Implied comparison. For example, when you say the wind roared like a lion. The wind is not a lion, but you are giving it qualities, human qualities. You are giving it the qualities of doing a certain action, and this makes for excellent writing. Your writing should have structure. I remember I said this when I started the lesson, that it should have an introduction, body, and conclusion. Effective openings and endings always make an impression in a composition. Let me repeat this. Effective openings and endings always make a good impression in a composition. For example, a strong opening may set the scene and refer to time, place, season, and weather. Okay? Let us look at this example that I made, my dear Lena, where I'm describing a place. The Manzini satellite bus rank on Thursday is a beehive of activities after awakening from its peaceful slumber of the other weekdays. It is littered with people from all the four corners of the country, and tourists swarm the place like bees. Every available space is filled with a dazzling array of artwork. It is a rainbow of handcraft and heavenly scent. It is market day. Let me demonstrate or illustrate language at play here. A beehive of activities. The writer did not say that it is a busy place, it is noisy, but he has used this beautiful expression, a beehive of activities. The writer also says, after awakening from its peaceful slumber, the Manzini satellite bus rank is a human being. It is being what? Personified. It now sleeps. And it does not say sleep, peaceful sleep, but slumber. That is beautiful, Mylena. That is how we are supposed to do it. So the Manzini satellite bus rank has been personified to describe, not in simple English, that it is busy and noisy on Thursday. No. It is a beehive of activities after awakening from its peaceful slumber. It means that there is the hustle and the bustle. The city is full of life. The bus rank is full of life. It is littered with people from all the four corners of the country. Littered. The writer did not say that it is full of people, it is congested, or it is crowded. But he has used this powerful verb to say littered. The people are littering the place. It's like they are literally littering the place. And he did not say from the four regions of the country, but he said four corners of the country. And tourists, they do not come. They swarm the place like bees. They swarm the place. It means they flock into the place. And then the writer here has used a simile. Remember, I said that you need to use figures of speech like simile. Like bees. You can just imagine bees, my dear Lena, making that noise. Zzz. There's that buzz in at the Manzini satellite bus rank on Thursday. Every available space is filled with a dazzling array of artwork. You can just picture. A certain mental picture is being created through the use of such language. It is a rainbow. He does not say that it is a color. It is full of color. There's yellow, green, blue. It is a rainbow of handicraft. You can just imagine that there's red there. Someone has made art and it's of a red color. That one is yellow. It is a rainbow of handcraft and heavenly scent. Remember, I said that when you write, when you're describing a place, all the senses should be taken into consideration. What you write should appeal to all the senses. Color, rainbow, evokes, it appeals to it appeals to the sense of what? Sight. Heavenly scent appeals to the sense of smell, and so on and so forth. It is market day. You can just picture the hustle and bustle that is here. It is a beehive. Manzini is a beehive of activities. Dear Lena, here is your classwork. Here is the exercise that I'm giving you. Describe your school when the bell rings for the morning assembly. Remember, I said you should create a what? An atmosphere. It's up to you whether you want here to have a confusion. If when the bell rings in your school, there's so much anarchy, so much confusion, or maybe there is peace. I don't know, but it's up to you on what you want to create. The atmosphere. Create the atmosphere. Describe. Appeal to the what? 5 senses. No wonder. Do you have a question, my dear?
No, Kwasi.
No, Kwasi.
Yes, no. I don't have a question. It's going to be very interesting, actually, to read some of the descriptive things they're going to say about when the bell rings during morning assembly. Yes. Because I remember it used to be crazy. Thank you very, very much, Deli, for such a wonderful English lesson. From threes, I hope you were watching that, and I hope you truly got something from that. Just to recap, writing a descriptive composition is to describe something, an object, could be a person, could be a place, could be an experience, it could be an emotion, could be a situation as well. So I hope the From Threes actually got that. I actually have a sentence from the director right now that I will say. The director actually, it's not for the classwork, the director actually wants you to mark him if it's correct or not.
Okay, let's hear it.
These are the golden polished pearls of impeccable speech. These are the golden polished pearls of impeccable speech. How is that?
It's a good description.
It's a good description.
The strong adjectives are there. That is what we want all the time.
All right. So, Mr. Director, you get a tick for that, or a gold star. I don't know what you get from Miss Deli Dlamini. With that said, up next is JC Mathematics with Lerato Mabilisa, along with Kenneth Nzimanze. We'll be right back after this.
Hi, my name is Professor Shabang. I am an actor and a TV presenter. Coronavirus is a deadly virus, an invincible enemy killing people all over the world. We are not exempted, but together we can walk through and overcome as a nation. All we need to do is to follow the health precautions. Stay at home, stop the spread, and save lives.
COVID-19 is an infectious disease caused by a new coronavirus introduced to humans for the first time. It is spread from person to person, mainly through the droplets produced when an infected person speaks, coughs, or sneezes. These droplets can land in the mouths or noses of people who are nearby. These droplets are too heavy to travel far in the air. They only travel approximately 1 meter and quickly settle on surfaces. This is the reason person-to-person spread is happening mainly between close contacts. The exact time that the virus can survive on surfaces is not yet known. So it is wise to clean surfaces regularly, particularly in the vicinity of people infected with COVID-19. Hands touch many surfaces, which can be contaminated with the virus. You should therefore avoid touching your eyes, nose, or mouth, since contaminated hands can transfer the virus from the surface to yourself. When coughing or sneezing, cover your mouth and nose with the bend of your elbow or use a disposable tissue. If a tissue is used, discard it immediately into a closed bin. The most effective way to prevent the spread of the new coronavirus is to clean your hands frequently with an alcohol-based hand rub or soap and water. This will eliminate the virus if it is on your hands. Stay healthy and prevent the spread of COVID-19.
Fame, unfiltered. A talk show that will reveal the emotional hustle behind the fame.
I was bullied to the core that I felt worthless.
We read about them, Yes, chef. We see them on stage.
Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining.
We watch them on TV. But depression does not discriminate. Help for all. Fame, unfiltered.
Kumelula ukuthi ligciwane lecorona lisuke kulomunye lingene kulomunye uma sitawusonzelana. Singasita sinciphise kuanza kwalo ngekuthi sikhweshelane. Lokhu kusho ukuthi singachawulani, singathinzani njengokuhagana nje. Tikhweshise ngesigaba lesiyimitha kusuka kulabanye. Kumtoka kakhulu kuhlala uhlobile nekuthi hlobisa uma uke waphumela kubantu. Ngekubambisana sitakumisa kwanza kwaleli gciwane sibe ngulabaphilile. Eswatini sibambisene kulwa nekwanza kweligciwane lecorona.
Welcome back, viewer. This is the third subject of the day. You still tuned in to Eswatini TV and we're still learning on our home study program. With me in studio today is Mr. Kenneth Nzimanze. Mr. Kenneth Nzimanze and our sign language interpreters Linda Mamba and Tobile Fagute. Good afternoon and welcome to the show, sir.
Good afternoon, Lerato.
How are you today?
Oh, I'm very good, thank you. And you?
I'm all right. So, what is our topic today, and what would you like the learner to have learned by the end of the lesson?
Today we are going to be looking at the equation of a straight line. At the end of the lesson, the learner should be able to find the equation of a straight line under three conditions. Condition 1, the learner has the gradient and a y-intercept. Condition number 2, the learner has the gradient and 1 point on the line. Condition number 3, the learner has 2 points on the line.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Without wasting any time, can you please take the lovely learner through?
Thank you very much, Lerato. Dear learner, this is what you should be able to do before we even start this lesson. You should be able to carry out operations with directed numbers. You should be able to substitute numbers into algebraic expressions, and you should be able to find the gradient of a straight line. Now, from your previous lesson, you are going to remember that actually you looked at kinds of gradients. One is this one, positive. The next one is this one, it is negative. And then next is this one, which is 0, that is a horizontal line. And then finally you have this one, which is undefined if it is vertical like that. Remember, in order for it to be defined, a gradient, the value of x, should not be equal, the value of x1 should not be equal to the value of x2, because when that happens you end up dividing by a 0, which is not allowed in mathematics. So this is what you should remember. Then quickly let us quickly look at these following graphs, and we are going to need to calculate the gradients for these graphs. We have two lines in front of us. One is labeled F, and the F is this one, the red one. And then we have the next one, which is labeled G, which is that one. We are going to start off by calculating the gradients of both lines, lines F and G. but we are going to start off by obviously calculating the gradient from line F. Let us pick 2 points on line F. For instance, here we have it as 2,4, and let us look at 2,4. 2,4 is there. You can see it is supposed to be on the line. The next point that we are going to pick is going to be this one, which is -1, -2, which happens to be here, right over there. We want to calculate the gradient. Remember, we said the gradient is represented by m, where m is supposed to be given by the difference in the y-axis divided by the difference in the x-axis. But we normally say change in y-axis divided by the change in the x-axis. So here are our points. This one, we are going to call it, we are going to say we have x1 here, and then x1 will always go with y1, which means here now we are going to have x2 and y2. Let us calculate the gradient now. You are going to notice that our y2 is -2, which is what you are seeing on the calculation of the gradient, where we have the -2, and then we are using the -2 to subtract the the 4. Actually, we are subtracting 4, and we are getting -2 minus 4, and that is supposed to be divided by, we are going back to the set 2, where we are going to take the x coordinate, which happens to be -1, the x coordinate, which is -1, and we are subtracting the x coordinate from set 1, which is 2. So we are going to have -1 minus 2, and we will end up having -6/3, which is equal to 2. So here is the 2. Let us go on to the next line, line G. With respect to line G, we are going to pick 2 points as well, and our points of interest are going to be -1,2 and 1,6. Let us show where they are on the line. So we are going to take -1, -1,2 is right there, and then the next one is 1,6, which is right there. Okay, now let us see, repeating the same process as we did with the first one. This is what we are going to see. We are going to have 6 minus 2 divided by 1 minus, we are going to have 6. Here is the 6 coming from that that black line, minus 2 divided by 1, which comes from this one, this point here, 1 minus this -1, and then we are going to end up having 4/2, which also gives us a 2, just as we got for calculating the gradient with the first one. Now, what I want to do is to take you back a bit to Form 2. In Form 2, Chapter 10, that is where you were dealing with the equation of a straight line, actually without calling it that. So what we will do now is we are just going to quickly look at how we would work with, for instance, a line whose equation is y is equal to minus y is equal to 2x minus 2. So remember how you used to do it in Form 2. What you would do was you would come up with a grid like this, and then you would have your x here, you would have your x there, and a y there, then you would choose values of x at random. For instance, you would say you would have your -2, a 0, and a 2, for instance, and then you would try to work out what you would get for values of y. So let us see what we are going to get here. Now let us substitute. Remember, I said you should be able to substitute here. So let us use our -2. If we substitute -2 here, we are going to -2 here. We are going to get 2 times -2, which gives us -4. And then when we subtract 2 from -4, we will get -6. Then we do the same with our 0. We substitute a 0 there. We are going to get 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 0 is 0. And then from the 0, we subtract the 2, we get -2. And then finally, we substitute 2. Then we are going to have 2 times 2, which makes a 4. And then from the 4 that we got there, we subtract a 2, and then we are going to have a 2 like that. So what we want to do is to use these points. What we want to do is to use these points. But let us go on to the next slide. So we said here we got a -6. Here we got a -2. And for this one we had a 2. Let us look at these points and do their coordinates. So it means we are going to have coordinates like -2, -6. The next one is going to be 0, -2. And then lastly we are going to have 2, 2, like that. So let us see where these points are. You are going you're going to be able to see that actually in this last line that I have, the line that I have now, I'm looking for -2, -6, which is somewhere there. Next, I also have 0, -2, which is there, and then we also have 2, 2, which is there. So it looks like by some magic I have been able to come up with a line that is parallel to the 2 lines that we already had there. Remember, in order for 2 lines to be parallel, they have to have the same gradient m. If the gradients of 2 lines are the same, then it means those 2 lines are going to be parallel, which means they are not going to meet however much you may extend them. But now here is what we want to look at. What is it that makes our 3 lines, these 3 lines, different then if they have the same gradient? The difference comes in when we look at where do they cut the x's. We are going to be particularly interested in where they cut the y-axis. The first one cuts the y-axis at that point over there, which is at so the first one cuts the axis at that point, which is at 0,4. At 0,4. And then the next one, that is the red one, it cuts the axis at 0,0. And then finally the last one cuts the axis at 0, -2. So that is where the difference is. The difference is in where the lines cut the axis. Remember the last one of the lines that we have there, we started off with an equation and we ended up having this line. That means even the other two lines should have an equation which should make them look something like the line whose equation we started off with. So let us see what happens. We are now looking at the equation of a straight line. The equation of a straight line is always given by y is equal to mx plus c. That is the equation of a straight line, where obviously you already know about m, that is the gradient. The one thing that you haven't talked about yet is this c. The c is what we were looking for in the examples above. The last slide was about the c, by the way. So what this means, it means that the equation of a straight line is always going to be given by y is equal to m, where m is what? Is the gradient. And then we are going to have mx plus, we are going to have mx plus c. Now we need to know what c represents. We already know m.
Okay, thank you very much, sir, for that. The lesson is very interesting, and I'm sure the viewer at home understands the lesson. But I think you need water. Do you need water?
Yes, a bit would do.
Okay, because I also need a little bit of water, and I'm sure the viewer at home would like to take a quick commercial break. So viewer at home, let's take a quick commercial break and we'll be back with Mr. Nzimanzi.
Hi viewers at home, my name is Professor Shabang. I am the presenter for your favorite health program, Better Health, Better Life. Thank you viewers at home for the calls and the messages, and thank you Eswatini TV for the great platform. Better Health, Better Life Season 4 is coming bigger and better. And now you have a chance to participate by sending a video of your view prior to the next program. On that note, we are appealing to all Emaswati, please stay at home, stop the spread so that we can save lives.
Pay your TV license for being in possession of devices such as television sets, DVDs, VCRs, monitors, and more. You are reminded that payments of TV licenses is due on or before the 31st of December every year. 180 Malangeni per year for individual or business viewership, 300 Malangeni for television trading license, and 50 Malangeni for other devices. You can pay for your TV license through MTN Mobile Money, Eswatini Mobile Imali, NetBank, and Eswatini Telecom. Visit us at the television license offices at the Madlenya House, Babane, or call this number 3434 1234. Pay yours every year.
Welcome back, dear viewer. You're still learning mathematics with Mr. Nzimanze. Mr. Nzimanze, without wasting time, please continue where you left off.
Thank you very much, Lerato. Dear Lena, we were dealing with the equation of a straight line. Here we are saying you already know what m represents, but the problem is you don't know what c represents in this case. For now, you don't know what it represents. So I'm going to talk about it shortly. But before I even talk about it, let us look at this. We have just said the equation of a straight line is given by y is equal to mx plus c, which means in a case like this question here, where they say find the equation of that line, a line which passes 0,3 whose gradient is 2, straight away we can do this. We can see that m is 2, but of course we have to work out c. Alright, so we have to work out the value of c. The c is supposed to be the y coordinate. If we can go back to the previous slide. I want to show you the c. You remember we said we had 0, 4, 0, 0, and 0, -2. That's where the c's come from. For the line that crosses the y-axis at 0, 4, the c is going to be this 4, this one. That is the y part of that coordinate. For the next one, it is going to be the 0, and then for the last one, it is going to be the -2, because these represent the y-axis when you have a set of coordinates. So let us go back there then to our slide. So it means here, because we have the equation y is equal to mx plus c, and we know the value of m is 2, straight away we can put 2 there. And then looking at where this line passes when it crosses the y-axis, we see that it crosses at 0,3. Straight away we can tell that the equation is going to be y is equal to 2x plus 3. So the 3 represents the c. That is the y-intercept in this case. Now, we also want to look at a situation in which you are given the gradient m, and then you are also told where the line passes. In fact, we are given a point on the line. So in a case like this, straight away what can we do? We can write y is equal to, because m is 2, mx is 2x, and then we say plus c. But now we are running into a bit of a problem. We don't have a c here. Why do we not have a c? Because what we are looking at here is not the same as what we were looking at on the previous slide. The ones that we're looking at were having something like 0, something this side. But this one is 1,3, so we cannot take the 3 to be a c here. But what can we do? We can say, oh, of course we don't know what c is, but we know, what do we know? We know what the y coordinate is, and we know what the x coordinate is. Here is the y coordinate, here is the x coordinate. So now we can substitute in our equation and say y, which is what? Which is 3, goes there. It is supposed to be equal to 2 times x, here is the 2, it is multiplying an x which is 1, and then we say plus the unknown quantity c. So now we can go on and say this is the same as, when we work this out, 3 is equal to 2 plus c. 3 is equal to 2 plus c, and solving for c, we find that c is equal to 1. Now our complete equation, which is supposed to be y is equal to mx plus c, is going to be y is equal to 2x plus 1, which is our c. So now we have done for the case where we are given the gradient and the what 1 point on the line. Now we are going to look at the last case, a very interesting case where we are not going to be given the m and we are not going to be given the c. Instead, we are going to be given 2 points on the line, and ours is to find the m and the c and finally write the equation. So that's what we are going to be doing next. Here is our question. What do we have here? Don't worry, it's okay, it's okay. So what do we have here? We are expected to find the equation of the line joining these 2 points, 2, -1 and -1, 1. So how do we do that? First, we have to find m, and then next we have to find c before we can say y is equal to mx plus c. Let us find m. Remember the equation. M is change in y over change in x. When we do that with the coordinates that we are given, this is what we are going to find to be the value of x. x1 is 2, y1 is -1, x2 is that, and y2 is that. We substitute into that equation of ours for finding m, and when we substitute, we end up getting m is equal to 2/3. Now, I want you learners to notice that in fact, as we were doing the calculation, what happened was that we ended up having something like that. Let me go back there. We ended up having this as our answer because this one gave us a +2 and this one gave us a -3. But when we present the final answer, we don't want the negative sign to be in the denominator. So finally, we write it as this. So our m is -2/3. So what do we have now? Now we have y is equal to mx plus c. We already have the value of m. The only thing that we still need to work out is the c. How do we work out the c? We do what we just did for the other example. Let us go on to the next slide. So remember, we said this is where we are now. We are at y is equal to -2/3x plus c, and then we decide to pick just one of the 2 points that we were given. Let us take this one, 2, -1. Now we are going to substitute. It is going to be straightforward substitution, and in doing that we should be able to find c, and by so doing find the equation of this straight line which goes through these 2 points. And so substituting, let us look. We are going to have, this is for the x value we have 2, and then for the y, this is what we have. So y is equal to m, the value of x is 2, and then plus c, and then solving we get c is equal to 1/3. So the final equation is going to be y is equal to negative 2 over 3x plus 1 over 3. And that, dear learner, is what we set out to do, and we have done it. So, in conclusion, learner, you have to remember what we said at the beginning. We said we are looking for a way of working out the equation of a straight line. We said when you are working out the equation of a straight line, you may have 3 possible cases. One is where you have the what? The gradient. You have m and c, the y-intercept. And then the other is where you have the gradient and 1 point, and then the other one is where you have 2 points, which may be given or may have to be read off from your graph. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson, dear learners. Thank you.
I'm sure the viewer at home enjoyed their lesson, and thank you for being with us today, sir. And would like to say Ramadan Mubarak to you, sir. And I'm sure you know what that
Thank
means.
you very much.
I'm sure. So since you know what it means, right? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much for joining us today. Form 3s. Up next is the Form 5 learners, who are going to be learning their following subjects, and Nogwazi, is going to be presenting the show for them.
When we talk of screening, basically, this is a preventative measure of finding out if there's any problem that may present as a result. So when you screen, you're trying to find out whether it exists or not, the problem. So in our case, the idea of screening is to ensure that everyone does not present with high temperature. So anyone who's presenting with higher temperature than usual is then picked up. And then from then on, you'll then be tested to make sure that you have the virus or not. That is the main difference.
Eswatini sibambisene kulwa nekwanza kuligciwane le-corona.
COVID-19 corona. COVID-19 corona. COVID-19 corona. COVID-19 corona. COVID-19 corona. COVID-19 corona. Let's stand together. Join hands. Fight against corona. Let's stand together. Join hands. Fight against corona. COVID-19 corona. COVID-19 corona.
My son, let's fight COVID-19 by making a meter away from each other.
COVID-19 corona.
Wash your hands with soap and running water frequently to prevent COVID-19.
Avoid touching eyes, nose, mouth, shaking hands to prevent COVID-19.
Are you coughing? Are you sneezing? Or having headache? Make sure that you quickly go to the hospital.
COVID-19 corona. COVID-19 corona.
Labanengi labangenwa ligciwane le-corona bavame kuba netimpawu letingasito letimatima njengebuhlungu bemphimbo, kuphathwa inhloko, kushisa nekubandza, kukhwehlela lokomile, kuphefumula kalukhuni kanye nekudzinwa. Kepha kulabanye kuba matima njengoba leli gciwane lihlasela emaphaphu. Ngesikhathi umtimba ulwa nalo leli gciwane wakheka emanti lagcola emaphashini. Emaphaphu-ke angagcola emanti akuphefumuleki. Lokhu-ke kubanga tingcinamba letinengi. Kuthi kweshisa kulabanye kuyasita ekunciphiseni kwanza kwesifo i-COVID-19. Hlala ekhaya ungahambi. Eswatini sibambisene kulwa nekwanza kweligciwane le-corona.
Welcome back, viewers. You are still tuned in to Eswatini TV, and this is Home Study. If you have just joined us, a very good afternoon to you. I am Nogwazi Dlamini, and at this moment we are doing Form 5 English language, and in the studio with me right now is Bonsiwe Mdluli, who is going to be doing the Form 5 English language. Also joining us in the studio are our sign language interpreters, Linda Mamba and Nompumelelo Hadebe. Bonsiwe, how are you this afternoon?
I'm okay, my dear. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Could you please tell us what the topic of today's lesson is and what you expect your learner to have learned by the end of this lesson?
Okay, thank you, Nogwazi. Today's lesson is on reading and responding to questions. And I want us to touch on question analysis as well as responding to questions. What is it that learners are expected to do when they are responding to questions?
Okay, all right. Anything that the Form 5s are going to need during this lesson?
Okay, basically with this, I think it would be just a pencil or a pen to note down a few things should they feel the need to do so.
All right, Form 5s, have your pencils and your notepads or your pens ready. This is your lesson. And just to remind you again, we are live on Facebook. We are also live on YouTube. And please feel free to use our WhatsApp number to text us any questions that you might have. Please text us questions that you might have on this particular lesson. Bonsiwe, I think I can let you start your lesson now.
Okay, thank you so much, Nogwazi, and welcome, my reader, my dear learner at home. Today, like I've already highlighted, that we are going to do question analysis as well as how to respond to questions. But before that, maybe one can make a reminder on the importance of annotation. We did highlight that on our previous lesson, that every time you are given such a task, that is reading and writing, you ought to always have a pen and a pencil in your hand so that you may interact with your text. That is annotation. So you note the things that seemingly outstand for you, the things that excite you, the things that surprise you. You note the diction that the writer has used so that the story is understandable and is enjoyable for you. So now, after you have done justice to the reading aspect, then you can go to question analysis, which we are going to touch on briefly. But before we get into that, I want us to look into the types and order of questions. Okay, by order, we mean the level of difficulty and the strengths of the questions. So basically, we have the low and higher order questions. The low order questions being the ones which I would say are easily accessible for the learner. And the higher order questions, I would say, are those that are not so easily accessible for you, my learner, at home. So those are basically the two types of, the order of questions that we have. Then first on my list, we have the recall questions. As you can see on the text there, pardon me for that, we have the recall questions. These are the questions that require you to retell information from the text. So basically here you are applying the skimming and scanning skills to spot the answer. And in this type of questions, usually you are advised to spend less time because, as I have said, they are recall questions. If I may make an example, somebody asks you where Lobamba is located. Then in the text, it is clarified that Lobamba is under the Manzini region. So you simply go back to the text and you spot the answer. It is just a recall. You just need to remember and go back to the text and retell that information. And then again, we have the state questions. The state questions are also low order questions, and they require you to mention and place information in a particular order. Okay, so with these ones, they may ask you to list maybe 3 activities depending on what you are being asked in that particular question. You might be asked to state, you might be asked to mention. So these are also state questions. And we also have number 3, comparison and contrast questions. And these are higher order questions. And they demand that you find the similarities and or differences, whichever the case might be. Okay, so now with this one, you are given 2 entities and you are expected to mark the difference or the similarities between those 2 aspects or entities. So in that, you are expected to use conjunctions or words like whereas. You may also use however. You may use yet, likewise, but, similarly, in contrast, etc. So these words help you to mark the difference or to cite the similarity, whichever the case might be. We are going to have examples of these types of questions as we move along with our lesson. Then we also have the inference questions. Okay, inference questions, which are also higher order questions. Okay, and these questions requires you to draw your own conclusions, my dear learner. And that is to say, you deduce the meaning from the given text. So it means here the information will not be overtly or clearly given to you. So then it is your task to then deduce the meaning, find out what the writer was trying to put across to you. Okay, so you find the meaning from the text, and usually you are going to find questions like this in our reading and writing paper, and the inference questions usually come towards the end of our questions in either exercise 1 and exercise 2. So you must always be on the lookout for this one. And responses here tend to be much longer compared to the low order questions. Okay, now moving on, let us jump that one. I want us to then look briefly into responding to questions. Okay, generally, what is it that is expected of you as you respond to questions? Let us look at the following, should I call it tips or what? Number 1, you read the question first. And this is assuming that you have already interacted with the text. You have already gone through your first reading. So now, coming back to the questions, because we know that after every read, you will be expected to respond to questions. So now, we are saying, read the question first. And what do you do after reading the question, my dear learner? You do not rush to responding to the question there and there. Okay, what you do after reading the question, you then underline the keywords, my dear learner. And what are keywords? These are the important elements in the question that are going to help you to locate the answer or the response from the text which we have already written. Okay, we do have keywords like the WH and how question. I am sure you have met such questions in the classroom situation. I can just refresh your memory on that one. We do have the who questions, and that is basically demanding you to give a name. That would be a name of a person, people, or maybe an organization. So if it is a who question, definitely you must give us a name of a person, not a name of a car or a name of anything else. So it is strictly the name of a person, people, or an organization. We also have the when question. The when question requires you to give time, requires you to give date, it requires you to give season, it may require you to give a period or a moment. So if it is when, you definitely know that these are the things that you should be looking for in the passage which you would have already read. Then we can also have a where question. A where question demands you to give a location or a place. Just like the example I gave earlier on in our discussion, where is Lobamba? That is a place. Ngoselhlaza Street, Fontaine, you will use that when you have been asked a where question, because that requires you to give location or a place. You might also be asked a why question. A why question requires that you explain something or you give a reason. So you explain, you detail that. And maybe lastly, you may be asked a how question. A how question demands that you show, that you prove, that you demonstrate how a particular thing is done or how something actually takes place, in what way and to what extent. So that is where your underlining should start, from the WH words and the how questions, because they are also key. Since you will not be expected to respond to a why question as if it is a how question. So you must mark the difference amongst those WH and how questions, my dear learner. So now you do not only underline the WH and how question, but you go to the extent of even underlining specific phrases which might lead you to an answer for that particular question that you would be asked. Okay, so now step number 2, what do you do after reading and underlining the keywords? You go to the passage and find the region where the keyword is. Remember, you underline the aspects. And earlier on, I had touched on the issue of annotation, that there are some markings that you do as you read. There are some small notes that you write for yourself for better understanding of the text. Then now you go to the passage. Now, because in the question you have underlined these phrases, and at times you find that those phrases will lead you to finding the answer from the passage. So if you have done justice in the text annotation, you would find that you would have underlined those phrases as well. And they clearly stand out from the rest of the other material which you would have not underlined. And that, my dear learner, makes it quite easy for you to spot the answer. Okay, even the region, when you have done justice again, in the annotation, it becomes easy. I mean, your memory is triggered to remember even the region. At times you can tell that this information, you probably came across it in the introductory paragraph or in the middle of the passage, or rather towards the end of the passage. So that is the importance of underlining, my dear learner at home. It is very important that you interact with the text. Then now, after that, you then select the answer as guided by the keyword or the underlined phrase. Okay, so you're not just picking anything, but we are basing it from what you have underlined. We are basing it from the keywords which you would have also underlined. Okay, and now, yes, Nalasi.
It's actually Nogwazi. Don't worry, a lot of people make that mistake. Could we please take a bit of a break? I think you do need a bit of water. Viewers will be right back after this.
Itolo sike sahlaselwa sifo se-HIV and AIDS. Laba kubita ngemagama lamanengi, umbulalave, labanye bathi lugola, labanye babita ngalolu bizo. Sachitha isikhathi sikhuluma ngokuthi kuyini lokho. Kwabulala sive leyo nto leyo nalamhla lokho asikaphumi kulobo bulukhuni lobo. Ngitsike namhlanje bekungaba kuhle ukuthi eMaswati acabange ukuthi siphumaphi lobuhlungu lebusuka kubo naloku lesesingena kuko nyalo tingakapholi tilonza tayitolo. Na ukuhlanganisa kokubili lokho utacabanga umuntu ngamunye ukuthi na ungabuka lele sikubonile itolo nasitawehlula lenzaba ye-AIDS sithi inkosi ithi inzaba yethu sonke. Asiphume sibambe nalamuhla singakunqoba lokho sisebenzise nathi into lesithi bonitolo leti sente saphumelela kulwana nalegciwane naleli singalinqoba naku lokufunekako nguwe lokufanele uticabangele ukuthi ufuna kuphila yini noma ufuna kwentani ngalesikhathi nguwe lokufanele usukume uticabangele ukuthi ufuna kwentekene esihlotsheni sakho nguwe lokufanele usukume ucabange ukuthi ufuna kwentekene emangweni lophila kuwo nguwe lofuneka usukume ubuke ukuthi yini lofuna yenteke kubantu losebenta nawo nguwe lokufanele usukume ucabange ukuthi yini lofuna kukwenta ukuze lesive seMaswati siphile longakwenta kulalela tinkulumo leti takuphephisa letinengi tato atidzingi namali tifuna nje wena wedwa futhi uthi lamuhla ngitawusukuma ngente konke lokusemandleni ngilwe negciwane le-COVID-19 ngoba litawubulala sive.
Eswatini sibambisene kulwa nekwanza kweligciwane le-corona.
Welcome back, viewers. You are still tuned in to Eswatini TV. I am Noah Zidlamini and this is Home Study. And right now we are doing Form 5 English language with Bonisiwe Mdluli. Bonisiwe, I'll let you carry on with your class without wasting any time.
Okay, thank you so much, Nogwazi. My dear learner at home, we were still emphasizing on the issue of underlining phrases and keywords. Moving on, I would remind you again to be precise in your responding to the question. Just be brief and to the point. So in other words, you are not expected to rephrase the question. The question has already been asked of you, so now you simply rush to giving the response from the text. So for this one, a word, a phrase, or even a number would suffice or would be enough for this kind of a response. So there are no parts of the question that are expected to feature in your response. It should just be the response. Do not rephrase the question. Then again, my dear learner, in the passage, the answers usually come chronologically. What do I mean by chronologically? This is the order in which the events are presented. So, for example, you may find that an answer to question 2, for example, would come after an answer for question 1. And may I underline the usually, because it does not mean that it is in all cases, but you find that in most cases that is what will normally happen, except for the last question on exercise 2, which will demand you maybe to describe 4 effects or to mention 4 impacts, etc. So with that one, you find that it is a summary of the whole passage, and you will not basically expect to get the answers from solely the last paragraph. Okay, we are still on responding to questions, my dear learner. In a passage with headed paragraphs, usually exercise 1, you may simply refer to that specific paragraph in your responses. So if there is a subtitle and you are asked a question specifically for that particular paragraph, you simply go straight to that paragraph instead of going back and reading the whole text, my dear learner. Say, for example, the passage is on fruits, then they ask you a question on vitamin C, which is on a paragraph subtitled oranges. Then you simply go straight to that paragraph with that subheading or subtitle, and you pick the answer from there. Okay, then we move on, my dear learner. We are saying again, when you respond to questions, please observe appropriate punctuation. For example, the capital letter, the full stop, proper nouns, etc. Then one may ask, when do we use a capital letter? One obvious reason is the proper nouns. When you are presenting proper nouns, of course, you are going to use a capital letter. Even if that proper noun appears in the middle of a sentence, of course, the rules of grammar demands that you use a capital letter. Except, of course, for exercise 3, form filling, when you would be asked to give an email address. That would be the only exception where you will present it in small letters, because that is what is demanded in that aspect. And we also use a capital letter to mark the beginning of a sentence. And if it is a sentence, therefore, my dear learner, it is going to be marked by a full stop. And a sentence must make sense. It must be a complete thought. So once you use a capital letter, it is a sentence, then you mark it with a full stop. So, and usually you are not expected to respond in a sentence form, because what you are doing there, you are basically picking the response from the text, and most of the time it is usually in the middle of a sentence. So that is no longer a sentence, it reduces it to a statement or to a phrase. Therefore, in that instance, you are not going to use a capital letter, and you are not going to punctuate it with a full stop, because it is no longer a sentence. My viewer at home, usually we find that most of our learners make the mistake of dotting every time they finish writing. Even if it is a phrase, it is a word, they dot it or they put a full stop, and that is not acceptable. It robs you of your hard-earned marks. So please be careful with that one. Don't punctuate with a full stop if it is not a complete sentence. And don't use a capital letter if it is not a sentence likewise. Then moving on, my dear learner, we advise that you space a number correctly. If, for example, you are given a question that requires you to give 2 details, please space and number your responses. Usually you would be given 2 lines, or should I say 2 dotted lines. So what you are expected there is that you give the first response on the first dotted line and you mark it probably with Roman figure number 1. And the second response, you place it on the second line after having marked it Roman figure number 2. Because there will be a problem if you congest both answers in the same dotted line. So if the mark allocation has been 2 marks, for example, you are only going to be awarded 1 mark because you are as good as somebody who has given only 1 response. So you ensure that the other response falls on the second line. Otherwise, you are not going to be awarded a mark. And it will even be more unfortunate if the mark allocation is 1, because you are not going to be awarded a mark. Or will you be awarded a 0 mark? That would be a problem. Okay, so make sure that you take a note of that as well. Then we come to this one. Note the chronology of how the question has been asked, my dear learner. We talked about chronology, that is the way in which the events or the order in which the events have been provided to you. So for example, I will give you this question: what day and what time will your father arrive from Cape Town? Probably. So what we have been asked first is the day and later the time. But what you usually find is that in the passage they would present this information the other way around. So now what you should do as a learner, on top of selecting, you also need to organize your responses as per the demand of the question. So you don't just go to the passage and pick it as it is. So this one would have 2 aspects. It means you should give the response yes, according to what we have been asked first. So with this one, it would be the day first and the time later, because that is what the question would demand of you. Okay, then we move on to the next one. You are advised, my dear learner, to note words of approximation. For example, almost, nearly, approximately, about, etc. There are so many of them. These words of approximation, they qualify the answer. Okay, so it means that you must always have them so that your answer would be correct. Then again, my dear learner, you are asked to mind your spelling. Okay, because it is never forgiven in this part of the paper. And for the obvious reason, my dear learner, that it would have been given to you in correct spelling in the text that you would be dealing with, my dear learner. So now let me quickly touch on a few questions before we can wind up. An example of some of the questions that we have discussed earlier on. We are not going to exhaust all of them probably today, because there are a whole lot of them. Let us look at this example here. Who established the city of Chicago and when? Okay, we are saying when you get the questions, you underline the keywords and the phrases which might lead you to the correct response in the text. So now the question is, who established? We talked about the who question. It requires you to give a name. And I am sure you are noticing that this question is in two aspects. We have just said that if it is in two aspects, then you need to give the response according to the order in which it has been asked. So if we go to this scenario here, it says in the late 1700, fair trader Jean Disciple established a settlement on the Lake of Michigan in Chicago. I am sure you are noticing here that they have given us the period first and they have given us the time later. So now, the person later. So you are not going to lift it exactly as it is. Like we have said that on top of the selection, you also need to organize your work as per the demands of the question. So now you are going to go back to the text and you pick the person who established the city of Chicago. In this instance, it is Jean Disciple, as you can see in our response here. And when we get that it is in the late 1700. So you select and organize according to how the question has been asked. Then I also want us to quickly look into a question which will include contrast and infer. Let us take a look at this question quickly, my dear Lena. How do students studying in the US differ from those who study locally? We are saying you underline the keywords like it has been underlined here. And then we also have this differ. We also have locally, which means there is something in the passage which is going to guide us in our response to the question. So now we go to the scenario which we want to believe we picked it from the text. Unlike our students here, and I am sure you would have noted as you were reading, you are connecting things now. If it is locally, then here, of course, takes us back to the locally in the question. Students studying in America have all the support they need from their parents. So now what I want you to note here, my dear Lena, is that before responding to the question, you should first understand that the question requires you to spot the contrast. Okay? Then identify the word from the passage that introduces the contrast. Okay, so when you take a look at the scenario, of course, we have that contrast weight, which is unlike. Then that takes us to our response, which is they have all the support from their parents. Whereas, remember, we had said you use these conjunctions, these words, to mark the difference between one entity and the next one. So you cannot respond to that one without using these words so that you show us the difference and everything. My dear Lena, we were trying to read questions with understanding, that is question analysis. I hope you were able to grasp something from that after reading the text, you go back to the questions, you try to analyze them, okay? You try to unpack the question, understand the demands of the question before you can actually move to answering the question itself. Hope to meet you the next time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bonisiwe, and we hope to see you again the next time for your English Form 5 lesson. And I hope that Form 5s now, they know how to read and understand questions and be able to answer properly. Thank you. Hope to see you soon. Sorry about that. Because of time. Unfortunately. Viewers, I will be back with Nombilo Shongwe for the Form 5 Siswati lesson. I'll be back right after this.
Ligciwane le-corona lincane kakhulu, angeke ulibone ngemehlo enyama. Kuze liphile lidinga kunamathela kubantu. Leli gciwane lingena melula emphumulweni, emlonyeni kanye nasemehlweni. Ligciwane le-corona alikhethi. Lingesuka kithi thine bantfwana liye kubatali kanye nabothishela. Lisengesuka kubo litekithi. Indlela yekulimisa leli gciwane kulivimba kuthi lisuke kulomunye liye kulomunye. Uma umuntu athimula noma akhwehlela, leli gciwane lihamba kanye nalamathonsi laphuma kuloyo muntu. Uma uthinta lapho athimulele noma akhwehlelele khona, uyalibutha leli gciwane. Uma ke uthinta impumulo, umlomo noma emehlo, livele lingene kuwe. Ngakho ke umthetho wokuqala, umthetho lomkhulu, geza tandla takho ngemanti lagijimako nangensipho njalo njalo. Uma uthimula, thimulela engcoseni yakho. Ungaqala ufake imino emphumulweni. Dikhweshise kulabanye bantfu ngesigaba lesiyimitha. Kepha lokusebenta kangcono kakhulu, uhlale ekhaya. Uma sihlala emakhaya, leli gciwane alikhoni kuhamba.
Eswatini sibambisene kulwa nekwanza kweligciwane le-corona.
When we stand together, we stand strong. We stand together with the same service and same pricing at all stores. Pick and Pay Low Jeff. We are one. Keep it fresh with Save Regular Washing Powder 3 kg, buy 2 for 90 emalangeni. Or the new White Rose 2-ply toilet tissue 18s for just 69 emalangeni. And get Pick and Pay assorted pork cards for 49.99 per kilo. Prices are valid 24 to 26 April at all Pick and Pay Eswatini stores while stocks last.
Labanengi labangenwa ligciwane le-corona bavame kuba netimpawu letingasito letimatima njengebuhlungu bemphimbo, kuphathwa inhloko, kushisa nekubanza, kukhwehlela lokomile, kuphefumula kalukhuni kanye nekudzinwa. Kepha kulabanye kuba matima njengoba leli gciwane lihlasela emaphaphu. Ngesikhathi umtimba ulwa nalo leli gciwane wakheka emanti lagcwala emaphashini. Emaphaphu-ke angagcwala emanti akuphefumuleki. Lokhu-ke kubanga tingcinamba letinengi. Kuthi khweshisa kulabanye kuyasita ekunciphiseni kwanza kwesifo i-COVID-19. Hlala ekhaya ungahambi. Eswatini sibambisene kulwa nekwanza kweligciwane le-corona.
Asikwemukele mbukeli ehlelweni lethu i-home study losembi kwakho nguye Nokwazi Dlamini. Kanti kulesikhathi samanje sitawufunza Siswati selibanga le-11 form 5. Kanti losavele anami kamanje nguye Nompilo Shongwe lotabe afundzisa sona Siswati. Nompilo, ungabe kunjani namuhla?
Ngiyaphila njani wena Nokwazi?
Ngiyaphila kakhulu. Ingabe namhla sitawufunza ngani kaSiswati? Kanti futhi ubheke ukuthi umfundzi abe afundzeni ekupheleni kwalesifundo.
Ngiyabonga Nokwazi umbuto wakho. Namuhla ehlelweni noma ke esifundweni seSiswati sitabe sibuka luhlelo.
Okay.
Sihloko sanamhla luhlelo. Ngiphansi kwaleli hlelo sitabuka sendo. Sakhiwo sesendo. Lengakusho kwanyalo ngulobo umcoka balo lohlelo.
Okay.
Lutawusita luyamsita kakhulu umfundzi ukuthi akhone kubona takhi temagama la noma ke tingcenye temagama enkulumeni. Lo mfundzi uyakhona ukubona lokho nakabhala futhi noma akhuluma Nokwazi.
Okay. Angikukhumbude ke mbukeli ukuthi ungabuta imibuto kunombolo yethu yaka WhatsApp kusosona lesi sifundo seSiswati. Nompilo ngicabanga ukuthi ungaqala nesifundo sakho.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu Nokwazi njengoba songethulile angimukele nemfundzi ekhaya. Tishela wakho Nompilo Mnguni otabe afundzisa libanga lekugcina form 5. Ngiyacela mfundzi ube nako kwekubhalela utobhala ema notes, ube nako wekubhala uphindze futhi mfundzi ube nako nekwekudvebela. Njengoba bese ngishito mfundzi ukuthi sitawubuka sendo namuhla sihloko sesifundo sanamuhla ke sendo mfundzi. Nasikhuluma ngesendo ke sikhuluma ngesitho senkulumo lo sewuke wafunza ngaso phambilini. Uke wafunza ngaso mfundzi esifundweni lesengcile. Namuhla lesikubuka kakhulu sitawube sibuka kabanti lesakhiwo sesendo. Asichubekele embili ke mfundzi njengoba sewusati isihloko sethu sanamuhla. Sitawubuka ke mfundzi ke imigomo yesifundo sanamuhla. Sifisile ke mfundzi ukuthi nawucedza wena namuhla ukhone kuhlela nawucedza kufunza ukhone kuhlela tivumelwano tenhloko uhlele tivumelwano tamendiwa uchaze umehluko wale tivumelwano uphinze futhi mfundzi ukhone kuhlela noma kwehlukanisa ticu tesendo ngemalunga ato. Ngiyo ke imigomo yethu lesinawo umfundzi lo namuhla. Asichubekele embili ke mfundzi. Sitawuqala ngekubuyeketa mfundzi noma kukhumbutana ngesifundo lesengcile njengoba ngishido nje ukuthi awuqali namhla kwenda sendo. Kule sifundo lesengcile ufunzile ukuthi sendo ligama lelichaza lokwendekako noma simo sobito lakuso emshweni. Lokunye lo wafunza ngako takhi mfundzi letinzatfu letimcoka desendo. Uyatikhumbula mfundza ngithi sinesivumelwano senhloko sinemsuka kanye nesijobelelo. Lokunye ke mfundzi sisakhumbutana lenakwenda wahlahlela tendo ukhipha letakhi. Sesisibonile ke noma sesikhumbutene lokufunzile ke mfundzi esahlukweni noma esifundweni lesengcile. Esifundweni lesengcile asesibukeke kabanti letakhi tesendo. Sesibuka ke kabanti letakhi tesendo. Sitawuqala ke mfundzi ngechaza tivumelwano tenhloko. Tivumelwano tenhloko ngulesakhi sesendo lesiletha kuvana noma kuvumelana emkhatsini wasobito loyinhloko kanye nesicu sesendo emshweni. Asesibone natibonelo titakusita tikhanyise kabanti lo lokukhulunywa ngako. Umfundzi ugeza tandla. Nangabe sikhuluma ngalabanye ndisawuthi bafundzi bageza tandla. Lokho lokubhalwe ngegcinzetelwa mfundzi ngu njengoba simbona nje ula. Ngu mfundzi lo sivumelwano senhloko. Nalo ba sivumelwano senhloko mfundzi. Sithi ke mfundzi umfundzi ngisobito loyinhloko yalomusho. Lo sivumelwano senhloko uletha kuvana emkhatsini wale ligama noma lo mfundzi kanye nageza logeza sendo salomusho. Sesibonile ke mfundzi ukuthi yini tivumelwano tenhloko. Ngito letiletha kuthi kuvane nawukhuluma noma mhlawumbe ubhala inkulumo yesiswati kufanele lokuthi kube netivumelwano tenhloko letivumela labo sobito labangimendiwe. Asichubekele embili ke mfundzi sikhulume futhi ngetivumelwano tenhloko singete lokunye. Singatehlukanisa tivumelwano tenhloko kabili mfundzi. Sinanati tivumelwano tenhloko letikhomba sikhatsi sanyalo. Sinaletinye letikhomba sikhatsi lesenga mfundzi. Nati tibonelo letitakusita kutsi uve kangcono. Nawuthi umfundzi ugeza tandla, umfundzi ugeza tandla. Mfundzi la siyabona ke kwekuthi lo ukhomba kwekuthi khuluma ngento leyendeka konyalo. Ugeza tandla umfundzi. Lesento lesi ugeza sisesikhatsini sanyalo yinto leyendeka konyalo. Singasho sithi umfundzi ubukela mabona kudze. Singasho ukuthi umfundzi ufunza siswati into leyendekako kulesikhathi sanyalo. Leti ke letikhomba sikhathi lesenga nasi sibonelo. Umfundzi wageza tandla. Yinto leseyengcile leseyendekile sesicoca ngayo nyalo yengcile. Sibona ngani ke ukuthi lesento lesi sikhuluma ngento lese vele yendekile. Sibona ngalo lo sivumelwano senhloko sesikhathi lesenga. Sisaqhubeka ke mfundisi sifunze kabanti ngato tivumelwano tenhloko. Lokunye ke mfundisi lesite sitakwenda emigomeni yanamuhla uthi wena ukhone kuhlela letivumelwano. Utihlele kusukela esigabeni lokhulumako kuya esigabeni sesiphohlongo. Asikhumbutane mfundisi kafishane. Kwekuthi wena awuqali namhla kuhlela. Utihlelile ticalo temabito, watihlela tabito, wena mfundisi waphinze futhi wahlela netivumelwano tesichasiso. Ngiyethemba ukuthi umfundisi uyakukhumbula lokho ukuthi ukwendile eklasini noma ke ebangeni lelishumi. Sithi ke mfundisi namuhla la esendweni nakhona siyahlela. Sihlela divumelwano tenhloko kwanyalo. Asesichubeke ke mfundisi sibuke ukuthi le divumelwano tenhloko tesikhathi sanyalo takhiwa tisuselwa kuphi. Singakade ihleli sitaqale sibuke lokuthi takhiwa tisuselwa kuphi. Siyabona ke mfundisi ukuthi takhiwa tisuselwa eticalweni temabito. Ngekuthi sithathe ilunga lekuqala lesicalo selibito. Uma lesicalo sinelilunga linye, uma nje lilinye lelilunga lalesicalo. Silithatha njengoba linjalo lelo lunga. Silithatha njengoba linjalo mfundisi. Dibonelo tendelwa lokho ukuthi wena ucaciseleke kabanti. Asesibuke ke mfundisi dibonelo tethu. Sithi ke mfundisi sivumelwano senhloko sisakha sisusela kuphi eticalweni temabito. Sitawuqala nje sibuke nasibonelo sako sigaba 1 bunye. Sicalo sithi umudesh. Khumbula libito la kusigaba 1 umuntu. Lesicalo kutaba umudesh mfundisi. Mangakhi ke emalunga alesicalo lesi mabili. Lecala ngilo u, lesibili ngulo mu. Mfundisi lengagcizelela ukuthi uma sisibona emalunga egameni noma ebitweni noma kuphi sibala la bonkhamisa. Uma ngabe nje sibuka emalunga nasi sibonelo sivumelwano. Mangakhe emalunga kuleli gama sivumelwano. Sivumelwano. Ngiyathemba mfundisi ubonile ukuthi asihlanu. Kulana ke mfundisi lana ke kulesicalo mabili lamalunga. Sithi ke mfundisi sithatha lekuqala nali lekuqala ngilo u. Umfana uyabhala. Umfundisi uyafunza. Kufanele kube nebudlelwane emkhathisini waleli bito noma sobito lo inhloko kanye nalesento. Lo budlelwane bufakwa yini? Bufakwa ngilesivumelwano senhloko. Nasiya ke ebunyentini sigaba 1 sithi bandvu libito la kusigaba 1 lelo mfundisi. Siqalo nguba. Sithi teke mfundisi nasibuka lo mthetho sathi nangabe lelilunga linye njengaloba munye nami linye ilunga kulesicalo silithatha njengoba linjalo. So yalisebenzisa selisivumelwano senhloko ukuthi bantwana bayabhala. Nabo lobudlelwane bukhona. Lesi nje ngilesicalo selibito, lesi ngilesivumelwano. Ngoba vele tifanele ukuthi tibe nako phela kufanana ngoba takhiwa tisuselwe ecalweni temabito vele. Nakusigaba 4 ke mfundisi wenda kanjalo. Linye ilunga sithi sibhamu siyaqhuma. Nakusigaba 7 sinelunga linye sicalo silithatha njengoba linjalo uthi buso buyamanyatela. Sesibonile ke ukuthi takhiwa kanjani divumelwano tenhloko mfundisi. Siqhubekela embili. Siside sitatihlela. Asesitihlele ke mfundisi. Luhla lwetivumelwano tenhloko sikhathi sanyalo. Sitawuhlela sicale kulokhulumako. Ngimi nje lokhulumako nyalo. Ngithi mine ngiyafundzisa. Nasi lokhulumako sigaba lokhulumako. Mine ngiyafundzisa. Nasesibanyeni sitawuthi thine siyafundzisa. Lokhuluma naye mina ngikhuluma nawe mfundisi ekhaya nyalo. Ngitawuthi wena uyafunza. Nani banengi nine niyafunza. Uyabona lokho sisihlela bunye nebunyenti. Kulokhuluma ngaye ngusigaba 1 loyo. Umuntu uyafunza. funza. Nababanye ndibantfu bayafunza. Wehle mfunzi uhlele uze uyofika kusigaba sesiphohlongo. Asesibukele la kusigaba sesihlanu kanye kanye. Libito la kusigaba sesihlanu mfunzi lolikhumbulako utawuthi inyoni iyandiza. Na ufake ebunyendini iyandiza. Luthi luyasha, tinzi tiyasha. Bubi benta njani bubi mfunzi? Kuyamangalisa. Kudla kuyasha. Lethu ke divumelwano tenhloko tesikhathi sanyalo mfunzi sothi hlelile kusukela kusigaba lokhulumako uyofika esigabeni sesiphohlongo. Sesitibonile ke leti tenhloko tesikhathi sanyalo. Sishito ke mfunzi ukuthi lana sitawuhlela divumelwano tenhloko sitaphinze futhi sihlele nedivumelwano tamendiwa. Sisengakafiki letamendiwa sishito futhi ukuthi leti tenhloko tehlukene kabili. Kuna letikhomba isikhathi sanyalo lesesikhulume ngato. Sekunanati ke letikhomba isikhathi lesenca mfunzi. Asibuke ukuthi tona takhiwa kanjani leti. Takhiwa tisuselwa kule divumelwano tesikhathi sanyalo. Ngekuhlanganisa lesivumelwano sanyalo nesakhi sesikhathi lesenca lesingu a leso sakhe. Kubese kuba khona ke tinguquko kubonkhamisa. Mfunzi khumbula umthetho wabonkhamisa. Uyendile imisindvo yenkulumo ebangeni lelishumi. Na uqala nje lihlelo wende wena imisindvo yenkulumo. Sithi ke lo mthetho ke wabonkhamisa uthi bonkhamisa abalandzelani emagameni eSwati. Na ubhala nje inkulumo yesiSwati awukhanzi igama linye selimemenise bonkhamisa. Uyabawona mos onke lamagama lawa mfunzi, onke lamagama lawa asiswati. Nali nje leli sitawuthi ngekuhlanganisa kude bonkhamisa labalandzelanako kulelo gama. Umthetho loyo wekwakha emagama. Kungako ke sithi ke bese kuba nale dinguquko. Asibuke tibonelo sishakutele mfunzi. Siyabuka ke la kusigaba 1 sithi ke sithatha lelunga lekuqala sithatha sivumelwano sanyalo sithe uyahamba umuntu ngiso ke lesivumelwano sanyalo. Sisihlanganisa nesakhi a lekungilesakhi lesikhulume ngaso la sesikhathi lesenca. Utawuthini ke mfunzi wena? Utawuthi babe wasebenta emayini. Yini ke mfunzi lekufuna ukuthi uyibone wena na ukhuluma ngedivumelwano tesikhathi lesenca. Liyaphakama liphimbo elungeni lekuqala. Uthi wasebenta awunawusho ukuthi babe wasebenta ubukhuluma ngemfole yendeka nyase. Cha, awendi kanjalo. Asesibukeke lenguquko mfunzi lesikhulume ngayo. Ngoba lana site phela asite usina wa uqhamukapi manje lo sangamisa uqhamuka la. Lo nguye lo loguquke waba ngisangamisa lo. Sesithi ke wasebenta. Asisho ukuthi uasebenta. Cha, lelo gama lelo phela ngeke lilunge ngoba sithide uthi umthetho bonkhamisa abalandzelani. Sesibuka kusigaba 3 bunye li-dash. Sivumelwano senhloko sanyalo lesi. Sisihlanganisa nesakhi sesikhathi lesenca. Stawuthi ke la dash sengiso lesi. Sivumelwano sesikhathi lesenca sigaba 3 bunye. Na usebenzisa emshweni utawuthi lijaha la sebenta emayini nakhona liphimbo liyaphakama. La sebenta emayini. Sibonelo sethu sekugcina ke mfunzisi kusigaba 8. Sitawuthi ke loku simhlanganise na a kuphume kwa inguquko uguquke waba ngisankhamisa u. La kusigaba 3 singake nginje kakhulu. Siyambulala lo nkhamisa ilo kuze sibe na la singabi na li a. Simbulele lo nkhamisa lo ngikwa kasekho. Njengoba sesibona nje sesina la sebenda la kusigaba 8 stawuthi ke kwaphela kadzeni kudla sikhuluma ngento leyinteka kadzeni. Lapha ke mfunzi besibuka kwekuthi ledivumelwano tenhloko tesikhathi lesenca takhiwa kanjani. asibuye ke mfundzi sinyalo sisale sitihlela nato njengoba sihleleleta desikhathi sanyalo. Sitawuthi ke lokhulumako njengoba ngikhuluma nje mine ngafunza katseni isikhathi engafunza ngaso sine safunza nasesibanyenti. Wena mfundzi njengoba ngikhuluma nawe nje nyalo wafunza libanga lekuqala nini mfundzi lo mnyaka watiwa nguwe kepha walifunza katseni. Nani banyenti nafunza lokhuluma naye lokhuluma ngaye sengusigaba 1 umuntu wahamba bantfu bahamba make wapheka bomake bapheka uhlele ufike kusigaba 8 uthi luthi lwasha lapha kusigaba 6 uphinze uthi tasha. Asesibuke ke mfundzi la kusigaba 5 kusigaba 5 sina lo sivumelwano senhloko esikhathi sanyalo simhlanganisa na a wesakhe sesikhathi lesenca siphuma nabani ke yanyamalala inyamata yanyamalala itsini ke inguqukelela kusigaba 5 lo uguquke waba ngilosanghamisa hayi w guquke waba ngilosanghamisa loyo. Asesibuke ke isigaba 7 sitawuthi ke bubi endanjani banyamalala sekageza kahle umfundzi banyamalala lobo bubi. Asiteke kusigaba 8 kudla kwaphela njengoba sibonile phambilini. Asisichubekele embili ke mfundzi njengoba sesibona ivumelwano tenhloko isikhathi sanyalo nesikhathi lesenga satihlela sesibuka lokunye futhi nyalo mfundzi sichubeke nesifundo. Singakatihleli ke mfundzi tivumelwano tamentiwa. Sitaqala ngetichaza. Yaqala ngechaza lo sobito longumentiwa ukuthi ngumuphi emshweni sobito longumentiwa. Ufuna uqale wathi loko kungona wathi letivumelwano. Mfundzi tivumelwano tenhloko netivumelwano tamentiwa disebenta kanye nesendo. Dahakhile tisebenta nesendo. Asesibuke ke sobito longumentiwa. Sobito longumentiwa ngilo sobito lokwentiwa kuye leso sendo lesikulomusho. Uyakhanyiseleka ke mfundzi nawufunza ibonelo. Umusho wethu ecala uthi umfundzi ugeza tandla. Kulo musho mfundzi sobito lo inhloko naligama nali sekucaleni. Ngilo lo wenda lesendo leside. Ngilo lesikhuluma ngaye lo musho sikhuluma ngemfundzi. Sendo wendani ngalo mfundzi vele yena la kulo musho sisi wendani uyageza. Sesimbonile ke sobito lo inhloko sasibona nesendo la kasendawo. Yini lele gezwako na? Sesiyabona ke ukuthi hayi ugeza tandla. Leli gama leli selungisobito longumentiwa mfundzi. Nguye lo gezwako. Lesendo sentiwa kule tandla. Geza ke nawe mfundzi tandla njengoba nje sikuthathwa kangaka kulamalanga. Singashintsha futhi sithi umfundzi ugeza tinyawo. Umfundzi ugeza umtimba. Tonke ke leto dibonelo leto ngsobito longumentiwa. Sichubeke sibuke nazi sesibili sibonelo. Bafana belusa tinkhomo. Yini leluswako tinkhomo nangisobito longumentiwa. Siyabuya bafundzi badla emabhonjisi. Badla ini bafundzi? Emabhonjisi. Siyathi kakhulu bafundzi batitsandzele emabhonjisi labanye baze baphathe nabo pelepele mfundzi esikolweni. Sesibonile ke mfundzi lo sobito longumentiwa sesimchazile ukuthi ngimu. Esikhatsini lesinengi ulandzela lesendo. Uyabona nje ukuthi kucala sendo kude nangisobito longumentiwa. Sendo sobito longumentiwa. Kuba ngilolo landzela lesendo esikhatsini lesiningi emshweni. Asichubeke ke mfundzi nyalo ke bese sibuka letivumelwano tamentiwa. Ngusiphi lesakhi lekuthiwa sivumelwano samentiwa emshweni noma esendweni. Ngulesakhi ke mfundzi sesendo lesiletha kuvana emkhatsini wasobito longumentiwa nesendo. Khumbula phela mfundzi ukuthi sesikhulumile ngasobito longumentiwa. Umfana uyatigeza tandla. uyambona nje lo locinzetelwe lo locinzetelwe lo lesakhi lesicinzetelwe nasi lesinguti lesi sivumelwano samendiwa ngoba sawuletha kuvana emkhathisini walesendo kanye nanangumendiwa Tandla awusho ukuthi uyabugeza Tandla angeke usho kanjalo ufanele ukuthi kuvane kuhambelane siyabuya labafana bayatelusa tinkhomo angeke uthi bayakulusa tinkhomo ngeke lokho kube Siswati lesifakala kahle bafundzi bayawadla emabhonjisi awunakusho wena ukuthi bayadidla emabhonjisi lokho angeke lokho kuze kube Siswati lesifakalayo leti ke mfundisi setivumelwano tamendiwa letisebenta nesendo asichubeke ke mfundisi kenyalo sale sibuka ini loluhla lotivumelwano tamendiwa sishito ukuthi kufanele ukuthi nakuphela lesifundvo wena ukwadi nekuhlela tivumelwano tamendiwa nati ke tibonelo bayangiphakela bayasiphakela nasibanyenti bayakufundzisa mfundzi bayanifundzisa bafundzi kusigaba 1 bayamtsanza bayamupha lana ke mfundzi naka ukuthi sifake nababonkamisa ubagaki leni mfundzi ngoba lesivumelwano samendiwa singaba lesinye isikhathi noma sibe ngilomu lophelele nawuthi nje bayamtsanza usebenzise lo nawuthi bayamupha imali uyangena ke lo uhlele naso mfundisi sivumelwano samendiwa uyofika naso esigabeni sesiphohlongo njengoba sibona la bayayipha inkomo bayadipha bayalushisa luthi bayatishisa uyofika egcineni mfundisi asesikhuluma indzaba yanaba takhi nati letibo dash lamaceleni lolphawu akusito takhi luphawu lo dash esimbonako umjwayele mfundisi dash yati vele ukuthi nangabe ukhuluma ngetakhi la ehlelweni kufanele umsebenzise ngendlela lengiyo dash uyamsebenzisa eticalweni temabito naseticwini nalana ke mfundisi siyamsebenzisa dash uyakhuluma dash mfundisi lona nje uthi labo dash lokuthi babe ngala nangala usho ukuthi babe ngala nangala basho ukuthi lesakhi lesi sisemkhatsini waletinye takhi kukhona lokushoda ngala kukhona lokushoda ngala basebenzise kakhulu mfundisi basebenzise kakhulu mfundisi bodash uyatsinga ukuthi ubadi sesihlelile ke tivumelwano tamendiwa umehluko ke nyalo lekufuna sibuke letivumelwano umehluko lesenhloko siba khona ngaso sonke isikhathi emshweni kani lesamendiwa asibi khona ngaso sonke isikhathi asesibuke nasi sibonelo bomake bapheka ligusha lesi senhloko bomake bapheka ligusha kude samendiwa le bayalipheka nasi sivumelwano samendiwa sesikhona wesibili umehluko siyavuma kungene letinye takhi emkhatsini waso lesenhloko siyavuma nati bomake bayalipheka ligusha nati takhi letingenile lamkhatsini loya sakhi sekwelula sendo lesitafunza ngaye nasikhuluma ngesikhathi loli sivumelwano samendiwa lesi ke samendiwa asivumi kungene takhi emkhathisini waso nalesicu sesendo sona silandzelwa sendo ngaso sonke isikhathi nalana uyabona kuqala sona kude sendo nalana ufike bese kulandzela lesendo nangu egcina umehluko lokhona kwale divumelwano lesi senhloko siyagucuka nagucuka isikhathi utawuthi make uyalipheka ligusha isikhathi sanyalo walipheka isikhathi leseca siphinze futhi ke lesamendiwa asigucuki sona njengoba usibona nje la solo ngusi ukhuluma ngetimvo letendeka nyalo nalekwendeka katseni uyasipheka sithuthu wasipheka solomane sinjenga lezivumelwano nalana futhi solo sinjenga lesi samendiwa asigucuki mfunzi sibuka nasi sakhi sakhi sekudenda kunesakhi sekudenda naso sebenta nesendo esikhatsini lesiningi baye basiphambatise bafunzi basiphambatise nesivumelwano samendiwa yini isakhi sekudenda lesakhi sikhomba ukuthi wena Sobito lo inhloko lesendo usenda kuwe lalela mfunzi lo Sobito lo inhloko lesendo lakasenda kolamshweni usenda kuye eqobo lwakhe lokusho usuphinza abe ngumendiwa yena asesibuke sibonela utokhanyiselela Thobile uyatisola ngekungalaleli sikhuluma ngabani ngaThobile angizimfunzi lona ngisobito lo inhloko wendani sendo ngisiphi uyasola usola bani usola Thobile lokusho ukuthi imfunzi sithi ke Thobile ungisobito lo ngumendiwa aphinza abe ngisobito lo inhloko lapha ke mfunzi nati takitekden mina ngiyatitsanza lodi sivumelwano sakhi sekudenda nalati imfombi tiyaticapha sakhi sekudenda nalesi uyabona ke mfunzi lokuthi noma ngabe usebenzisa bunyendi nathi tinfombi noma bunye Thobile siyafanana asiguquki sakhi sekudenda sihlala singudini bunyendi noma ukhuluma ngebunye sibangidinga so sonke isikhathi bengifuna ke mfunzi sibukisane nje kafishane nako nasi nangu umbuto lo wake waphuma ngalomnyaka noma ke mfunzi sibuke nje kumbe nangu umsebenzi shishela nginike umsebenzi athi chaza letakhi letidvejelwe utichaze ngalokuphelele nati ke mfunzi letakhi unikwa lo musho wena uthi tikotela tiyatibolela kudvejelwe ti kwadvejelwa lo kwadvejelwa nalo akafanele ke umfunzi ahluleke ke kuphendula umbuto lo kanjalo wena uyakhumbula ubuke ngalinye eligama nasocetse kufunza tikotela sitho sinsenkulumo libito uyadibuta futhi wena ukuthi lakhiwa ngani libito so uyadikhumbuta ukuthi ngesicalo nesicu manje lo lokudvejelwe ngabe kuyini utikhumbuta umfunzi waphela wena udabe sobhala lihlolo mhlawumbe noma sobhala umsebenzi noma sivivinyo ukhumbule kahle hle ukuthi wolibito lakhiwa ngani ngesicalo nesicu lokusho ukuthi lokhu sicalo selibito tiyatibolela uyatibuta mfunzi uyasebenta wena nalokho wayi working engqondweni nawuphendvula awucobeli nawucobela uthola licanza ngoba awubhali lokungiko lo tilo mfunzi wena soyakhumbula esentweni ukuthi hayi sivumelwano senhloko lesi sigaba 4 bunyenti ti sivumelwano sakhi sekudenda sesakhi sekudenda lo tilo landzela soyawathola ke onke emamaki akho ke mfunzi ngaloku gcwele sesibonile ke sakhi mfunzi sekudenda inyalo sitawuchaza sicu sesendo mfunzi sitawugcina la kubuka la kulomsuka sicu sesendo sakhiwa ngani ngemsuka nesijobelelo side sivumelwano senhloko asesibuke nje mfunzi sibonelo khuluma sicu sesendo khulum ngumsuka walesendo bese kuba sijobelelo mfunzi sitachubeka esifundweni lesilandzelako
Siyabonga kakhulu Nombilo ngenxa yesikhathi sicela nje ukuthi simane simise lapho sifundwa sanamuhla siyabonga kakhulu siyathemba ukuthi sitakubona esifundweni lesilandzelako
ngithemba kanjalo nokwazi ngiyabonga nami
okay mbukeli siyabuya nalerato khona manje
Labanengi labangenwa ligciwane lecorona bavame kuba netimpawu letingasito letimatima njengebuhlungu bemphimbo, kuphathwa inhloko, kushisa nekumanza, kukhwehlela lokomile, kuphefumula kalukhuni kanye nekudzinwa. Kepha kulabanye kuba matima njengoba leli gciwane lihlasela emaphaphu. Ngesikhathi umtimba ulwa nalo leli gciwane wakheka emanti lagcola emaphashini. Emaphaphu ke angagcola emanti akuphefumuleki. Lokhu ke kubanga tingcinamba letinengi. Kuthi khweshisa kulabanye kuyasita ekunciphiseni kwanza kwesifo iCovid-19. Hlala ekhaya ungahambi. Eswatini sibambisene kulwa nekwanza kweligciwane lecorona.
What a lovely day we have just had. Unfortunately, that was the last lesson of the day. Lerato, I'm hoping you had a beautiful day.
I enjoyed my day today,
Yeah.
although it was hectic at the start, but then I really enjoyed it.
Just a reminder about our social media pages. We are live on YouTube every day from 2 p.m. until 5 p.m. and on Facebook. And if you have any questions, you can ask us on our WhatsApp number. Also to remind you that on channel Yemaswati, Home Study is repeated from 9 a.m. until 12 p.m. Lerato, I hope you will have a lovely weekend.
I'll have a lovely weekend. Grade 7s from 3, Form 5. We'll see you guys next time.
And also just to remind you viewers, social distancing. Please stay at home, stay safe, do not go anywhere unless it's really, really necessary.
And sanitize frequently.
Very frequently. Please wash your hands also for 20 seconds or more. Thank you very much to everyone for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.